Right, so that's not too bad. So when you take the skin off of your cat tonight, what you won't see, well, what you definitely won't see are any numbers. Okay, that'd be nice. That'd be great. Kind of be so good. Anyway, but you won't see this because what you'll really see up over all of this is connective tissue. Now, under the connective tissue, you can probably make out, generally speaking, where some of these muscles are. But after you get the connective tissue off, then you have to actually sort of begin to expose them in some detail. So this is the latissimus dorsi, which is a superficial muscle. So if you really got carried away with your dissection, it can disappear. But that's a little hard to do. And there's 3 trapezius muscles. I'm not going to go through them all. The levator scapula. There's 3 deltoid muscles. There's 3 heads to the triceps muscle. And you can see you don't have to take all the fur off of the skin off the head of the cat. But up here, you know, say onto the back of the neck, yes, you do. Because there are a number of muscles up here, like what's number 4, the clavotrapezius, you need to expose up here. So it won't look like this, but it will. Maybe later this evening or by tomorrow evening, I'm sure it certainly will. This is the cat laying on its back, and these are the muscles on the anterior surface of the cat. The pectoralis major and minor muscles are a little unusual, well, not unusual because they're usual for cats, but they're a little different in cats than they are in humans because in humans, this big muscle here, of course, is your pectoralis major, and the muscle under it is the pectoralis minor. But in cats, you know, they sort of lay on top of it and they sort of lay next to one another. This again is the latissimus dorsi, a group of muscles here that are little fans are called the serratus ventralis or also serratus anterior. There's muscles on the scapula. So anyway, this is what it looks like on the anterior surface of the cat, or the ventral surface of the cat is belly. This again is this would be another picture of the cat. Muscle number 3 is the supraspinatus. Muscle number 2 I didn't put on here because I didn't put on it's acromion trapezius. We don't do any of these deep muscles. That's the reason like 14 and 15 are not labeled on this diagram because I don't do these deep back muscles. You can see the triceps here. These are the rhomboideus muscles in between the scapula. We don't do 9 and 10 because those are deep muscles, and I don't look for those. Anyway, so this is what, well, this is, so if you look over here, actually, you know, I hadn't seen this before. When you look at this arm over here, you can see it's you know, it's like, oh, there's a lot of tissue there, and like these, see, if you look at these muscles here, the triceps, this is what it looks like when you get the skin off. This is what it looks like when you clean it up, right? So that's actually a pretty good comparison. So it kind of looks like this, but you want it to look like this. So that's the kind of the hard part of the job. These are some of the muscles basically of the upper arm, and once again they're going to be covered with connective tissue. They won't look like this initially, but you can clean them up and they will begin to look like this. So these are the muscles of the upper arm. These are the extensor muscles of the forearm. The extensor muscles of the forearm are the hard ones for most students to learn because they're fairly small. And they're broken in, but they're broken into discrete groups. Now, the way to remember this is the muscles on this side, even on us, the muscles on this side of our forearm are these guys, the extensors. The muscles on this side are the flexors. Right? So the muscles we're looking for here, the extensor carpi radialis, the extensor digitorum, the extensor carpi ulnaris, they're separated into groups like this, into bundles like this. And you do this with like a probe. You don't do it with like you think, oh, a scalpel, and you just cut. No, usually you'll see the metal aluminum blunt probe, and it works really well for this. So they'll separate out like that on one side. On the other side, they'll look like this. They separate into small bundles. And again, it's going to take some work on your part to do that. The abdominal muscles of cats are not very thick. It's real easy to go too deep and suddenly you're looking at the intestines of the cat. You don't want to do that, right? So there are 4 groups of abdominal muscles. The ones that go straight up and down in the center are called, I didn't put one on there because I don't do it. It's called the lineal. Anyway, Number 2, the muscles go straight up and down, and that's the rectus abdominis. Then there's external obliques, internal obliques, and then the deep ones are the transverse abdominis. These are the deepest muscles. So don't go too deep here. Don't get carried away when you're slicing along the cat's belly. The leg muscles are pretty easy. You will be finding the gluteal muscles in cats. And check, this is kind of weird now, but it's true. Number 4 and number 5. Number 4 is right here, and this is the gluteus maximus, and this is the gluteus medius. Well, guess what? In cats, the gluteus medius is actually the bigger of the 2 muscles. Gluteus maximus is a rather small muscle in the cat. This is a huge muscle, biceps femoris. You can't hardly miss it. The semitendinosus is also very easy. This one you got to be careful on, the tensor fasciolata, because it's a really superficial muscle. In us, in humans, it kind of lies along here. And it's very superficial. It looks like connective tissue. So I'll be pointing that one out to you as you're dissecting tonight. Don't cut it off. Let's see. These are some of the superficial muscles on the other side of the leg, the sartorius and the gracilis. When I say superficial, I mean they're the surface muscles. But in the leg, there are a series of deep muscles that we actually look for. And you'll see how they work in just a second. So what I usually tell you to do on these dissections is you keep one leg sort of superficial and use the other leg for the deep muscles. That way, you can sort of see the relationships. But under the sartorius and the gracilis, these muscles here, there are some deep muscles. There's actually probably 7 that are under there. Both sides here, what they look like. So if you peel this away, you see all these deep muscles down there. Over here, there's number 3 is the rectus femoris, the vastus medialis, the vastus lateralis. This one is the gastrocnemius. It's just superficial muscle. So you'll be seeing these muscles tonight. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6, 7 muscles that are just sort of on this deep part of the leg. And another picture of the leg, and also down here, the sort of down here. These muscles down here on us, the gastrocnemius, and some of these other ones down here. I put it on here, the peroneus longus and brevis, but I actually don't have you guys find those. And those are the muscles down on the leg. So you can see you have to take the fur off, basically sorted out about the back of the paw. It doesn't have to be totally dissected off. That's just another picture. So you've got all these pictures. These are all available to you. I got a bunch of dissecting books. So for